Welcome back to Linear Equations Part 2. So, we're going to continue on with your notes here. It says, what is the solution of the system of equations? So, for this, what we need to do is figure out what x equals and what y equals. So, what we need to do is first, we need to make sure one of our equations is in y equals mx plus b form. Which, in this case, right here, my second equation, y equals x minus 2, is in slope-intercept form. So, remember, y is just a placeholder. So, since I know exactly what y equals, which is x plus 2, I'm going to take this x plus 2 and plug it in right here, right by this 9, and multiply. Because I need to solve and see what's going to happen, what my x is going to equal, what my y is going to equal, and figure it out. So, again, in place of the y is going to be x minus 2. So now I'm going to distribute. I'm going to take this 9 and multiply by the x. 9 times x is 9x. I didn't do anything to this 10x, so I'm just going to bring it straight down. And don't forget, you have to multiply the 9 by the negative 2 as well. Everything in the parentheses needs to be multiplied. So negative times a negative is a positive. 9 times 2 is 18. And I didn't do anything to this 24. So I'm going to bring it straight down. Next step is to combine like terms. Combine x's together, combine non-x's together. So in this case, I have 10x minus a 9x, which is going to give me 1x. Bring down your plus 18 equals, and bring down the 24. Now remember, x is not by itself. Remember, it's like you and your best friend, and the 18 is your dog. Kick your dog out of your house by subtracting it out. Because, you know, they chewed up your favorite new sneaks, and there's my dog. Anyway, see, she's upset because I told her, I told you that, she chewed up my new sneaks. So anyway, 24 minus 18 is going to give me what? 6. Yes. So x equals 6. So in this case, I'm going to put 6 right here. Now, what I have is, I know what x is, so now all I'm going to do is take it back to my OG equation, y equals x minus 2. I'm going to plug it in right there to solve for y. So 6 minus 2 is going to give me what? 4. So y equals 4. So you will see something like this where it says x equals something, y equals something on your PFA, or it'll look like this, 6, 4. So take a second, write it down, figure it out, and let's move on. So our next problem here is, what is the value of y makes this system of equation true? So again, in this case, I'm going to take one of my equations that is in y equals mx plus b form and plug it into the other for y. So since my second equation again is in y equals mx plus b form, all I'm going to do is replace it. So y is a placeholder, remember? So now I have 2x plus, what's my y? 3x minus 1 equals 4. So I need to combine any x's that are together. Oh look, 2x plus 3x is going to give me what? 5x. And then I'm going to bring down my negative 1, because I didn't do anything at all to it, and my positive 4. Now, remember, if you and your best friend are chilling, you're the 5 and she's the x, and you want to, I don't know, kick your parents out, I guess, what you need to do is get rid of one of them, because there's a 1. So instead of making them mad, you're going to make them happy because they can go outside and relax and, I don't know, be adults, I guess. I have no idea. But anyway, 4 plus 1 is going to be 5. Now you and your best friend are next to each other, you get in a fight, You break up, you're not besties anymore, so we gotta divide by 5 to both sides. Because I need to get you away from your bestie. 5 divided by 5 is a 1. So yes, I figured out what x is, but the actual question asks, what is y? So, now that I know what x is, all I gotta do is plug it back in one equation. It doesn't matter which one. I prefer this one right here because I can clearly see that y equals some number. So now I have y equals 3x minus 1 is the equation I'm plugging it into. So I have 1 times 3 minus 1. 3 times 1 is 3. Minus 1 is going to give me 2. So for this question, if it asks you what is the value of y, you would say 2. Let's try the next one. Just like what we've been doing, you're going to do, I want you to pause this video, take about a good 5 minutes, and what you're going to do is figure out what the x coordinate is. So you're going to figure out what x equals for this system. So remember, if they're both in y equals mx plus b form, plug one equation in for y and see what you get. So go ahead and start. So now that you've paused the video and solved it, let's see if you're right, which I guarantee you are. So it doesn't matter which equation you use and plug in for y. I'm just going to take the top one here, that is y equals x minus 2, and plug it into this y. So now I have x minus 2, because that's what this y says, equals my the rest of my equation, 3x plus 4. So remember, we like to combine x's, seeing which is larger. So obviously the 3x is larger than just the 1x, so I'm actually going to subtract 1x from both sides. Remember, if there's no number in front of x, that's instantly a 1. Sometimes mathematicians don't like to put the 1 there because, it's just too time consuming, especially if you got other things to do, like, I don't know, do math. But 3x minus 1 is 2, and I'm going to bring down this 4. Is x by itself? Absolutely not. It has a 4 on the other side. So what I need to do is subtract 4 from both sides. Now, remember, your teacher's got, a money problem, taking money from the bank that, is not there. So if I take $2 from the bank and I take another $4 out because, Taco Bell was calling my name, I have -2 plus a -4 is going to give me -6. Is my x alone? No, there's a 2 attached. Remember, if they're right next to each other, it means multiplication. The opposite of multiplication is division. So I'm going to divide by 2 to both sides. A negative divided by a positive is, in fact, a negative. 6 divided by 2 is 3. And on the other side, I'm just going to be left with x. So my x coordinate is -3. Now that we've actually looked at numbers, we've said what type of solution it is, we're actually going to now look at graphs, because I know sometimes the more challenging questions are the graphs. But you got this. Let's go. So the type of solution, it says, what is the solution of the following system of equations? So these two graphs cross each other, meaning that there's one solution to this two graphs, meaning there's only one number that x and y have to be to make it 100% true. So if I look here on my graph, what I have is, we're going to see where they intercept. So here's my yellow line. Oh look, here's my green line. They hit exactly right here. Now this is one solution because they cross. So what is my one solution? Well, I'm going to put what the point is. So remember, x is first and y is second. So my x value is a 4. So I have 4, comma, what's going to be my y? Looks like 5. So this graph has one solution at 4, comma 5. Now that you know how to do it, I want you to try the second one on this side. Yes, it is going to be a 1 solution, but I want you to tell me what that 1 solution is. So take about 30 seconds, write it down, and tell me what it is. Now that you've written it down, hopefully and pause the video, it's totally fine if you didn't and you instantly knew, we're going to look at this. Oops, there we go. Ah! So we're going to look at this right here. My x value, this is where they intercept. My x value is a -4. And my y value is a 5. So this equation has one solution at -4, 5. Well, okay, so we have one solution, but what does, infinite many solutions, what does no solution look like? Good question. Now let's look at them. So, now we're looking at these two graphs. I want you to think down deep inside those notes that you just took. And I want you to see, which one do you think is which? Do you think no solution is number 1? Here, I'll label these. Number 1 or number 2? What do you think infinitely many solutions is? Take 10 seconds. Take a guess. No wrong answers. Just taking a guess. Now that you've guessed, let's see. So, remember, no solution means that they never intercept. They never do anything. There's no solution at all. The graphs never interact with each other. They're parallel lines. So, no solution is the first one here. Because they never intercept. They have the same slope, different y-intercepts, and they never intercept each other. As for number 2, I'm betting you can guess, since we did 1 and no solution. This is infinitely many solutions. And the reason why is because if we see an equation, it means that they're literally the same on either side. So if this equation, which I'll solve for you, this line is, the y-intercept is a +2. And if I rise and run, I have 1/2 x. So this equation is y equals 1/2 x. And if you saw both of them, it would look something like this. They have the same slope, same y-intercept, meaning they're exactly the same equation. Therefore, it's infinite many solutions. So now that you've gotten through your notes, now you can take your linear equations and systems PFA. Go rock it.